name of God, our Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer. Amen.
Amen.
Well, how many of you have ever had the experience of feeling like you got things just right?
Occasionally.
Everything's right on target. I see exactly what's going on. It's all figured out. It's all beautiful. Had that for a moment? An instant? Well, Peter had that. He had it all figured out on the mountaintop. He knew exactly what was going on. Great, we're here. I know what to do now. Zoom, he's on target. He thinks. And then, whoa, no, not so. Not so. Things are different than what I thought. And I don't know about you in your terms of your endeavors or how you orient yourselves in your lives. For me, I have been reflecting on how important it is for me to think I know what's going on and how things need to go in the future. It's important for me to know what's wrong right now and how to get them right, get things right. Am I the only one who does this? Do you ever occupy yourselves thinking, well, if only this person would do this, or if only I had this sort of relationship with this person, if this would just sort of get cleared up, if the garbage wasn't strewn around the landscape, well, then I could relax and then everything would be well. And I mean, do you ever get into that sort of mindset? I was out running the other day, and I just became distracted by the garbage in the woodlands. And I couldn't see the rest of the woodlands. All I saw was the garbage. Well, I did stop and I picked up some garbage and I found a place to throw it away. And that seemed like an easy thing to do. But the mindset that can preoccupy us in terms of what's wrong, how things just aren't right, what needs to happen so we can finally relax and just be in the world. You know, getting things to a certain place, getting ourselves to a certain place, getting other people to a certain place. And then maybe things will open up and it'll be like that transfigured moment where it's all just glowing and beautiful and I can finally see what's been there all the time, but I know what has to change so that I can see it. We do this all the time. We're conditioned to do that. We have the idea that in order to have some sort of transfiguration of our experience, things have to change. There's got to be a lot of environmental, circumstantial change. We've got to change ourselves. And it's very hard to line that up with compassion. That is not a compassionate view. That what Jesus came identifying was that God is with the world just as it is, fully with, loving, being with it, not waiting for it to change. Longing for its change, longing for its transformation. Not ignoring the pain of the difficulty, but being present with compassion and love in the moment, just as it is. And that is not easy, in my experience. Maybe it's easy for all of you. But for me, I find it very hard to be a loving presence in the world just as it is. My idea of loving presence has to do with the world as it should be. With people as they should be. I've been trained to think, you know, over my lifetime, that it has something to do with things being in a certain alignment, and then there can be love. And that's just a lie. Love is now, fully. You're equipped. Jesus came to reveal that you are fully equipped to be love in the world, in your circumstances, without them changing an iota. And yes, you being love in the world will change the circumstances. Things will move, things will change. But it's not that you change them in order to be love. Things change because you are love in the world. So now, how many of you know American Sign Language? Oh, good. Because you won't contradict us. Jane, would you come up? Jane's learning American Sign Language.
Just learning.
And she came home with a book the other day of religious American Sign Language. I was fascinated. What can be religious American Sign Language? What words do they have? It's fascinating. So did they have transfiguration? Here's transfiguration. Okay, one more time, slowly.
One more time, David, move.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Do it again?
Yeah,
Okay.
again, slowly, Jane.
Okay. It's very easy to do when you're standing there in front of the book, but, okay. Sorry, let me start again.
Isn't that beautiful? Because it's like everything comes together.
Yeah. Everything comes together and now
Goes
everything
up and comes down. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
That's you. That could be me. It's just like it all comes together, and in God it goes up, it comes down. And we're the transfigured for the world. It's simple. Okay, now I got one.
Yes, you got it.
What's
Really
this?
practice it.
What's this?
Thumbs up.
Can't say.
That's vicar.
Sounds about right.
It's this motion up like this. Okay. All right, now I got another one for you. And you probably get this one. Because this is where...
Baptism. Holy Trinity?
Ash Wednesday.
Oh.
Exactly, it's Ash Wednesday. It's the signing of the
That's
cross
W.
with ashes. And Wednesday is this motion, right?
Yeah,
Did I get it right?
yeah.
Jane coached me. So, why do we have that little interlude? I think because we are standing in the cusp between the Transfiguration and Lent. This is last Epiphany. Wednesday, we start our Lenten journey with Ash Wednesday. And it's something that we embody. ASL is an embodied embodied language. I mean, all of our languages are embodied. But we move, there's a movement that illustrates what's going on when we do what we do. So the ascension, the transfiguration, there's this movement within our bodies. It all comes together, and God lifts us up and then lifts us down, and we're transfigured for the service of the world. In Ash Wednesday, we're reminded that we are but dust. That's that. That in your baptism, you're anointed there, but you're anointed with ashes to remind you that you are dust. That we're dust, and to dust we will return. So what happens through our lives is by God's grace and glory. That we are but dust. And all of our ideas, all my ideas about how things should go and how they should be and what should be happening in the world, they're all just ideas that will die with me. They're just my ideas. It doesn't mean that they're not important. It doesn't mean that they don't have something to do with how I find myself being active in the world in Christ's name. But it's different than thinking that's all there is. That I know what to do. That I'm equipped to do it. I'm a free agent, independent, isolated island doing something in the world. It's not true. It's just a lie. You and I are caught up in the Spirit of God who is creating and moving in the world in a benevolent, constructive, beautiful way. And when our eyes are open in creation, we can see it. We see beyond the garbage. And we can see what God does in the world and how transforming and enriching and healthful God's movement is. When we know that in our heart of hearts, we don't ignore the garbage in the world. But we put it in perspective and we can then engage it without losing our peace, without losing the sacred connection, the rest of knowing that God is working with us and through us, even though we are but dust. It's fantastic. It's a tricky thing, because it's very tempting in this time to be so overwhelmed by what needs to be done, for how things are going wrong, for how things seem to be falling apart. We lose sight of how much of wonder is happening in the world every moment, because God is working in and through it. There is garbage along the trail, and we might be able to pick some of it up, but we don't need to lose sight of the beauty that is throughout it all, and in your life and heart. It's, yes, always we can find things that we wish were different about ourselves, other people, about the world, what's going on. But if that's all we can see, we're living a lie. Because God is working in and through it all, and that's the truth. And sometimes we can relax enough to actually know it. And then things are transformed. Things are transfigured. Things look differently. And we have the heart to be with the world, not as it should be, but as it is. And God needs that. That's what we were created to do and to be. So, and this, it's all true. You are God's life in the world, for the world, and you are also only dust. You're both. And amen.
Amen.